fresh shot clock. MJ. Oh, he did it!
Jordan with the drive and the reverse. Michael Jordan.
A chance to cut the lead down to 11, which is as few as it's been since the first quarter.
Michael Jordan, a name that drives the entire basketball world wild. A legend with 6 NBA championships and a slew of unbeatable records. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's hard to believe that a superstar like him once wrote a $57,000 check to a drug-dealing criminal after a poker game, or coldly demanded $15,000 from a fan just to take a photo. Why would the #1 icon of the basketball world, the richest athlete of all time, engage in actions so unworthy of his stature? What mysterious force could have driven Michael Jordan to behave this way? Right now, get ready to uncover 10 things you never knew about Michael Jordan in this video. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more top-tier stories about NBA superstars. The wicked fear of water syndrome. Michael Jordan, the basketball legend admired worldwide for his extraordinary talent and steely resolve, carried a deep-seated fear few could have imagined, a fear of water. This phobia didn't come out of nowhere. It stemmed from 2 traumatic events that etched themselves into his mind as a child, leaving a lasting emotional scar. These experiences not only shaped part of who he became, but also revealed that even an icon who seemed invincible had deeply human vulnerabilities. The first incident happened when Jordan was a young boy growing up in North Carolina. While playing near a body of water, he watched in horror as his close friend was swept away by a ferocious whirlpool. As just a child, the image of his friend struggling desperately before disappearing forever burned itself into his memory. The helplessness, the pain of loss, and the terror of water's uncontrollable power became an indelible part of him. His friend's death wasn't just a personal tragedy, it was a chilling warning about the dangers of deep waters, something Jordan could never forget. Before he could recover from that first shock, less than a year later, Jordan faced another near-death experience, this time as the victim. At a baseball camp, in a moment of carelessness, he was pulled underwater. The cold water engulfed him. The suffocating panic and sheer terror of being unable to escape brought him face to face with the line between life and death. Fortunately, he was rescued, but the harrowing memory left a deep psychological wound. These back-to-back events planted a fierce fear of water in Jordan, especially deep, uncontrollable bodies like oceans or large lakes. Though later in life, with his trademark determination and resilience, Jordan managed to overcome this fear. To some extent, he could never fully shake the unease. According to the fact file, Jordan once candidly admitted that being near the sea or on a small boat still triggered tension and lingering anxiety. This is a rare aspect of a man who shone so brightly on the court, where he seemed immune to failure. Jordan's fear of water isn't just a personal anecdote, it's proof that behind the dazzling aura of a legend, there are still human pains and frailties. Now, let's dive into the second mystery, which unfolded on February 14, 1990. A shocking moment that left Michael Jordan's fans and viewers stunned. His legendary number 23 jersey was stolen before a game against the Orlando Magic, forcing him to wear a number 12 jersey without his name on it. And perhaps that unfamiliar shirt contributed to the Chicago Bulls legend suffering a bitter defeat. The mystery of the stolen jersey. On February 14, 1990, a strange and unforgettable event marked Michael Jordan's illustrious career when he was forced to abandon his iconic number 23 jersey during a game between the Chicago Bulls and the Orlando Magic. According to Listverse, the number 23 jersey, a number synonymous with his name and fame, was mysteriously stolen from the locker room before the game began. With no other option, Jordan had to wear a nameless number 12 jersey, a rare and surprising situation for a superstar so tied to his familiar image. Though furious and uncomfortable, he still showcased his incredible grit on the court, scoring 49 points that night. Yet, the Chicago Bulls ultimately fell to a narrow 135-129 defeat against the Orlando Magic, leaving behind a memory both impressive and bittersweet in Jordan's career. It all started on a Valentine's Day evening that seemed ordinary at the Orlando Arena. Before the game, Jordan, as usual, was mentally preparing to dominate the court. But when he entered the locker room to gear up, his beloved number 23 jersey was nowhere to be found. The Bulls coaching staff and support team immediately descended into chaos, frantically searching for the missing jersey to no avail. No one knew who the thief was or what their motive might have been, whether it was a prank, sabotage, or simply an overzealous fan desperate to own a piece of a living legend. In the end, with time running out and no resolution in sight, the team handed Jordan a spare number 12 jersey, devoid of his name, for him to wear. Despite the unwanted circumstances, Jordan proved why he's considered one of the greatest players ever. His anger seemed to fuel him as he played with unrelenting power and determination. Throughout the game, he racked up points, executed jaw-dropping plays, and kept the crowd glued to their seats. The 49 points he scored that day were a testament to his exceptional talent and iron will, even in adversity. However, despite his brilliance, Jordan's individual effort couldn't secure a win for the Bulls. The Orlando Magic, with strong teamwork and steady performance, edged out the Bulls by just 6 points, making the game an unforgettable yet regrettable chapter in his story. Jordan always knew how to turn adversity into motivation, but he didn't win every time, not on the court or in life. If the Orlando incident was a rare mishap, the controversies surrounding his gambling passion cast a far more persistent shadow. Visiting a casino right before a crucial playoff game, wagering massive sums, and even ties to a notorious drug dealer, all of these painted a far more complex picture of this basketball legend. Writing a check to a drug criminal. Michael Jordan was known for his intense passion for gambling, a facet of his life that was both intriguing and controversial. However, this hobby sometimes landed him in awkward situations, sparking criticism from the public and media alike. One of the most notable incidents occurred during the 1993 playoffs when Jordan was spotted at an Atlantic City casino until 2:30 a.m., just hours before a critical game against the New York Knicks. According to the Daily Mail, this revelation shocked fans and raised serious questions about his professionalism. Even as a shining star, risking his health and focus right before a pivotal playoff match left many disappointed. The result? The Chicago Bulls lost that game, and Jordan became the target of a fierce backlash. After the loss, the pressure on Jordan intensified, not just because of the team's defeat, but also due to doubts about his personal habits. Many believed his gambling obsession negatively impacted his performance, turning a personal pastime into a serious issue. Facing media scrutiny, Jordan denied that gambling was a major problem in his life, insisting it was merely a way to unwind and relieve stress after intense games. But his explanation couldn't fully dispel public skepticism, especially as past incidents resurfaced, shedding light on a darker side of this habit. Perhaps the most controversial episode came in 1992 when Jordan had to testify in court over a $57,000 check he'd written to James "Slim" Buhler, a notorious drug dealer, after a poker game. The incident didn't just raise eyebrows about the huge sums Jordan was willing to bet, it also fueled speculation about his ties to shady figures in the underworld. Jordan claimed the money was a loan for Buhler to build a golf course, but not everyone bought that story. The lawsuit exposed a hidden corner of his life where gambling wasn't just a pastime. It led him into risky decisions with legal implications. Though he wasn't directly convicted, the scandal left a stain on his glittering career, highlighting the stark contrast between his image as a sports icon and his very human missteps. Jordan didn't just stir controversy with his gambling, he also let fans down with his off-court demeanor. If massive bets and murky connections once shook his legendary image, a moment where he demanded payment from rapper Chamillionaire for a photo further revealed a colder, more pragmatic Jordan, willing to put a price tag on admiration. Charging a fan for a photo. Michael Jordan didn't just leave his mark with breathtaking plays on the court, he also made waves with contentious real-life moments. One memorable incident, shared by rapper Chamillionaire on Bleacher Report, exposed a different side of Jordan, cold and calculating, that caught many off guard. According to Chamillionaire, during a rare encounter with his idol, he asked to take a photo together as a keepsake. Brimming with the excitement of a fan who'd seen Jordan as a childhood hero, he never expected Jordan's brutal response. "Pay me $15,000 right now and I'll take it." That blunt, transactional rejection stunned Chamillionaire and shattered the pristine image he'd held of his icon. Chamillionaire, a talented artist with chart-topping hits, was no stranger to fame or the pressures of stardom. But meeting Jordan was an entirely different experience. He recalled how he simply wanted to express his admiration and capture a moment with someone who'd been a huge inspiration. Instead, Jordan's response wasn't just a refusal, it carried a chilling indifference, as if a fan's affection could be priced in dollars. Demanding $15,000, a hefty sum, felt like a slap to Chamillionaire's pride, leaving him humiliated and deeply hurt. The hero he'd once revered morphed into a symbol of detachment, and calculation, dimming the glow he'd once admired from afar. This wasn't just a private exchange between Chamillionaire and Jordan, it sparked a broader debate about how superstars treat their fans. To many, Jordan was the epitome of perfection on the court, but interactions like this painted a different picture, one where material value trumped genuine sentiment. Chamillionaire later shared that he lost the reverence he once had for Jordan, replaced by disappointment and disillusionment with the hero he'd idolized as a kid, watching him dominate on TV and dreaming of being like him. Some of the most pivotal decisions in Michael Jordan's career also carried dramatic backstories. Few know that the historic Nike deal, one of the most significant partnerships in sports, nearly didn't happen because Jordan preferred Adidas. Thankfully, his mother's firm intervention gave us the iconic Jordan sneakers we know today. Preferring Adidas and nearly rejecting $1 billion deal. Michael Jordan, a name synonymous with Nike and the legendary Air Jordan line, initially had no intention of signing with the sportswear giant. According to ESPN, in 1984, as Jordan entered the NBA and became a focal point of attention, he leaned toward Adidas, a brand he felt better matched his style and personal taste. His loyalty to Adidas made him lukewarm to Nike's overtures, a company that wasn't yet a major player in basketball at the time. However, the fateful meeting with Nike wasn't his choice. It came about through the insistence of his mother, Dolores Jordan. Her determination shifted the trajectory of his career, leading to a deal that not only shaped his future, but birthed a billion-dollar commercial empire. At the time, Jordan was just 21, fresh out of the University of North Carolina and joining the Chicago Bulls as the third pick in the 1984 NBA draft. He hadn't yet grasped the magnitude of his potential influence, and choosing a sneaker brand seemed like a matter of personal preference. Adidas, with its European flair and youth appeal, was his top pick. Nike, despite strides in the sports industry, hadn't fully conquered basketball. With his strong personality and clear sense of self, Jordan saw no reason to budge. But his mother, Dolores, saw greater potential in Nike's offer. She persuaded, practically forced, him to meet with their representatives, overriding his obvious reluctance. That meeting changed everything. Nike offered an unprecedented deal: $500,000 per year for 5 years, plus a percentage of sales from a shoe line bearing his name, terms no other brand, including Adidas, was willing to match. Though initially unconvinced, Jordan came to see this wasn't just a sponsorship, it was a chance to build his personal brand. Yet few realize how close he came to turning it down. Without his mother's push, he might have chosen Adidas, and the world may never have seen the birth of Air Jordan, a cultural icon that's generated billions and redefined the sneaker industry. If the Nike deal nearly slipped through Jordan's fingers due to personal bias, he'd faced an even harsher rejection in his past, cut from his high school team simply for being too short. But instead of accepting fate, Jordan turned that pain into fuel to prove no one could underestimate him twice. A grudge against his first coach. Michael Jordan, the basketball legend with a trophy-laden career, endured a major blow early on when his high school coach, Clifton "Pop" Herring, rejected him. According to Biography.com, as a sophomore at Laney High School in Wilmington, North Carolina, Jordan didn't make the varsity team, the school's main squad, because he was deemed too short at 5'11". For a young, ambitious player like Jordan, this wasn't just a rejection. It was a deep wound to his pride and dreams. Rather than crumble, he channeled that pain into relentless drive, though the incident left him with a heart not quick to forgive, a trait that stayed with him throughout his life and career. Herring's decision made sense in context. At 5'11", Jordan didn't yet have the ideal physique varsity teams typically sought, especially compared to taller players. Instead of playing with the main squad, he was relegated to the junior varsity team for less experienced athletes. To Jordan, this wasn't just about playing time, it was a personal insult. He later recalled how being cut filled him with rage and despair, crying alone in his room after the roster was posted. But that moment ignited a competitive fire, pushing him to train tirelessly to prove Herring wrong. Jordan's grudge didn't end with silent perseverance. He carried that pain for years, even bringing it up during his 2009 Hall of Fame speech. In an emotional address, he openly revisited being rejected by Herring, calling it a defining moment. He even invited Herring to the ceremony, confronting his past head-on and asserting he'd soared beyond what his coach once doubted. This showed Jordan wasn't just an exceptional athlete, he was a man with vivid memories of hurt, using them as fuel to forge ahead. If high school rejection forged Jordan's unyielding spirit, his later actions revealed another side, an obsession with every detail of his achievements and legacy. Beyond court records, he etched his mark in unexpected ways, like a medal table with exactly 32,392 holes, each representing a point he scored in the NBA, owning a unique table with 32,392 holes. Michael Jordan, one of history's greatest athletes, didn't just leave his legacy through clutch shots or glittering titles. He did so with unique details reflecting his personality and fierce passion. One such example is a medal table he owns at his home, crafted with precisely 32,392 holes, the exact number of points he scored in his NBA career. According to Sportskeeda, this isn't just an eccentric decoration, it's a symbol of personal pride and a window into Jordan's soul. A man so obsessed with achievement, he immortalized it in even the smallest ways, always marking his presence in every facet of life. This table wasn't a whim, it was meticulously designed, mirroring the precision Jordan brought to the court. With 32,392 holes drilled into its metal surface, each represents a point from his 15 NBA seasons, from his Chicago Bulls debut to his final days with the Washington Wizards. That number isn't just a personal record, it's a testament to his endurance, talent, and iron will in conquering every challenge. Keeping the table at home, Jordan turned it into a timeless statement of his accomplishments, a reminder to himself and others that he didn't just play basketball, he redefined it. Yet this unique table doesn't just speak to pride, it reveals a deeper layer of Jordan's character, an obsession with success and perfection. Owning an item crafted with such exactness shows he was never content with just being good. To Jordan, every point and game mattered, and he wanted them remembered forever, even in furniture. This mirrors the ferocious competitiveness that won him 6 NBA titles, 6 Finals MVPs, and countless records. But it also hints at a man unable to let go of past glory, living with self-imposed pressure to maintain an invincible image. Jordan's winning spirit didn't stop at basketball. Even in a casual golf game during the 1992 Olympics, he refused to lose, this time facing off against the Dream Team's head coach, Chuck Daly, forcing Team USA's head coach to play golf relentlessly. Michael Jordan didn't just show his intensity on the court, it spilled into off-field battles like a gripping tale from the 1992 Olympics. According to Bleacher Report, during the Barcelona games, Jordan clashed with Dream Team head coach Chuck Daly in a dramatic golf match. He lost narrowly to Daly, a defeat his win-or-nothing mentality couldn't accept. Unhappy with the outcome, Jordan forced Daly to replay Daly throughout the tournament, determined to reclaim victory before Team USA ascended the podium for gold. He succeeded, beating Daly in a later match, proving that even in a non-specialty sport, he wouldn't back down. This unfolded during the 1992 Olympics, when Jordan and the Dream Team, featuring legends like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Charles Barkley, dominated the global stage. Despite a packed schedule crushing opponents, Jordan made time for golf, a hobby he often enjoyed to unwind. His matchup with Daly, a seasoned coach who knew Jordan's nature, started as light fun. But when Daly edged him out in the first game by a slim margin, it lit a competitive spark. Losing, even in a side game, wasn't in Jordan's vocabulary, especially to someone he respected yet wanted to outshine. Refusing to let that loss stand, Jordan turned leisure into a personal mission. He challenged Daly to rematches day after day, despite the Olympic grind. With relentless persistence, he honed his game, adjusted tactics, and poured his focus into beating Daly. Witnesses said he didn't just play to win, he played to prove he was always the best on or off the court. Before the Dream Team claimed historic gold, Jordan triumphed over Daly in another golf match, restoring his pride. This small victory, dwarfed by Olympic glory, underscored his uncompromising nature. Not every bond in Jordan's career endured like his pride. While he battled Daly on the golf course in 1992 to assert dominance, years later, a different showdown with his close friend Charles Barkley couldn't end with a handshake. A broken friendship with Charles Barkley. Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley were once a famous duo in basketball, bonded not just by their love for the game, but by mutual respect during their peak years. Both were part of the legendary Dream Team at the 1992 Olympics, where they won gold and forged lasting memories. But that tight friendship unraveled painfully when Barkley publicly criticized Jordan's management of the Charlotte Hornets on TV. According to Sportskeeda, Barkley's blunt remarks wounded Jordan's pride, prompting him to sever all contact with his once close friend, leaving an irreparable rift in a once unshakable relationship. In the 1990s, Jordan and Barkley weren't just teammates, they were fierce rivals on the court. Jordan's cool, efficient style often clashed with Barkley's powerful, fiery play for the Phoenix Suns. Despite the rivalry, they admired each other. Off the court, they hung out at events, played golf, and shared laughs. Barkley called Jordan a brother, while Jordan openly appreciated Barkley's humor and sincerity. Their bond seemed unbreakable until Jordan took on a new role as the Charlotte Hornets owner, and things shifted. After retiring, Jordan bought a majority stake in the Hornets in 2010, entering a new career chapter. But the team struggled under his leadership, often languishing at the bottom of the NBA standings, far from his playing day success. Barkley, now a prominent TV analyst, didn't hold back. On air, he slammed Jordan's management skills, saying he wasn't good at picking players or building a team, and calling the Hornets one of the league's worst. Though rooted in analysis, those words struck Jordan's pride, a man who thrived on his untouchable image. Jordan's reaction was predictable to those who knew him. With his grudge-holding nature and intolerance for doubt, he cut Barkley off completely. No more calls, golf outings, or friendly check-ins. A decades-long friendship ended over one public critique. Barkley later expressed regret over the fallout, but stood by his honesty. Jordan stayed silent, never explaining publicly, though his actions said it all. Loyalty and respect were non-negotiable, and Barkley had crossed the line. While Jordan could ditch a decades-long friendship over pride, his bond with family, especially his mother, Dolores Jordan, remained steadfast. Nothing showed this more than his poignant act in 1991, gifting his first NBA championship ring to the most important woman in his life. Yet, over 2 decades later, that same mother sold the precious ring, turning the tale into a swirl of endless speculation. The precious NBA championship ring sold by his mother. Michael Jordan, the basketball icon with 6 NBA titles, was known for his generosity and deep love for his family, especially his mother, Dolores Jordan. One of his most meaningful gestures was giving her his first NBA championship ring, won in 1991 with the Chicago Bulls. According to TMZ, this gift wasn't just a symbol of his first personal triumph after years battling the Detroit Pistons. It was a heartfelt thank you to the mother who'd always supported and guided him to success. But this seemingly beautiful story took an unexpected turn in 2013 when Dolores sold the ring at auction for $250,000, leaving many curious and questioning the true meaning behind her decision. The 1991 championship ring held immense value, both materially and emotionally. It marked the first time Jordan and the Bulls broke their playoff curse, defeating Magic Johnson's Los Angeles Lakers 4-1 in the finals. For Jordan, it launched a dynasty, and gifting it to his mother shared that joy with the woman who mattered most. Dolores, who'd once pushed him into the billion-dollar Nike deal, was more than a mom. She was a silent partner in his rise. The intricately crafted ring bearing his name and the Bulls logo became a sacred token of their mother-son bond. So when news broke in 2013 that Dolores had sold it, the public was stunned. The auction was quiet, but the $250,000 price tag sparked speculation. The Jordan family offered no official comment on why, leaving room for theories. Some wondered if Dolores faced financial trouble, unlikely given Jordan's billionaire status from basketball and Air Jordan. Others speculated about an unrevealed family rift or that she simply no longer felt tied to its sentimental value. Ultimately, we're not responsible for how this video's content is interpreted or applied. Viewers should evaluate, verify, and approach the information selectively. Thanks for taking the time to read this. We'd be thrilled if it brought you something interesting and valuable. Support us by hitting like and sharing this post. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe for more exciting content in the future. Thanks so much, everyone.